All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese in New Delhi today. Prime Minister to address post-budget webinar on economic empowerment of women this morning. India-US Commercial Dialogue and CEO Forum to be held in New Delhi today. Election Commission of India reviews poll preparedness for assembly elections in Karnataka. Third session of National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction to begin in New Delhi this evening. Khelo India 10 Ka Dam tournament for women athletes to begin today, and in Women's Premier League, Mumbai Indians beat Delhi Capitals by 8 wickets at Navi, Mumbai. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese will hold bilateral talks in New Delhi today. The two leaders are expected to discuss gamut of issues to further boost the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two nations. Both the leaders are also expected to hold talks on trade, investment, defence, education and renewable energy. A report from our correspondent.
India and Australia share warm and friendly relations. The strategic partnership between the two countries was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership in 2020. Last year, both the countries had signed a free trade agreement called the Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement. The bilateral trade between the two countries amounts to nearly $27 billion in 2021-22. The bilateral trade is expected to cross $45 to $50 billion by 2035. The meeting carries significant weight in the context of Quad, as the two prime ministers are expected to discuss the ongoing efforts of the Quad in the Indo-Pacific region. Bhupendra Singh, Air News, Delhi.
The Australian Prime Minister is on a 4-day visit to India. During his stay in Delhi, Mr. Albanese will also meet President Draupadi Murmu and Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. The India-US Commercial Dialogue and CEO Forum will be held in New Delhi today to discuss cooperation in various sectors. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo will co-chair the dialogue. Ms. Raimondo is on a 4-day visit to India at the invitation of Mr. Goyal. The India-US Commercial Dialogue is a cooperative undertaking encompassing regular government-to-government meetings to be held in conjunction with private sector meetings. They aim to facilitate trade and maximize investment opportunities across a broad range of economic sectors. The last India-USA Commercial Dialogue was held in February 2019. Since then, due to pandemic and other factors, it could not be held. The Commercial Dialogue will be relaunched with strategic outlook, with focus on supply chain resiliency and diversification and new emerging areas. Earlier, India-US CEO Forum was soft-launched by Commerce Minister of India and U.S. Secretary of Commerce on the 9th of November last year through video conferencing. India and the U.S. have agreed to launch a strategic trade dialogue. It was decided during the meeting of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo in New Delhi yesterday. The dialogue will be led by Foreign Secretary of India and Under Secretary, Bureau of Industry and Security in U.S. Department of Commerce. It will address export controls, explore ways of enhancing high-technology commerce, and facilitate technology transfer between India and the U.S. The Ministry of External Affairs said both ministers had a productive discussion about the India-US strategic partnership and the ongoing efforts to deepen the economic and commercial engagements. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the inaugural session of the post-budget webinar on the economic empowerment of women this morning. The webinar aims to brainstorm and firm up pathways for sustainable growth of women-owned and women-led business enterprises. It will also help develop a strategy and blueprint for implementation of the announcement made in the Union Budget 2023-24. Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Zubin Irani and Rural Development Minister Giriraj Singh will also attend the inaugural session with other dignitaries. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the third session of the National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction in New Delhi this evening. This year's theme is building local resilience in the face of climate change. The Prime Minister will facilitate the awardees of the Subhash Chandra Bose Apada Prabandhan Puraskar 2023. The winners are the Odisha State Disaster Management Authority and the Lunglei Fire Station of Mizoram. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate the exhibition for showcasing innovative ideas and initiatives and technologies in the field of disaster risk reduction. The two-day session will be attended by over 1,000 dignitaries, including union ministers, ministers of disaster management from states, parliamentarians, amongst others. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, along with Election Commissioners Anup Chandra Pandey and Arun Goyal, reviewed the preparations for the forthcoming assembly elections in Karnataka. In a series of interactions in Bengaluru yesterday, they sought information on various arrangements being made for the elections in the state. A separate meeting was held with the political parties' representatives and suggestions were sought to make the election free and fair. The full commission also held meetings with the senior officers of the State Chief Electoral Officer and the police department. More from our correspondent.
The full commission sought information regarding updation of electoral roll preparations at the polling booths and enforcement of the election code of conduct after the election dates are announced. Today, meetings will be held with the district election officials and police officers on pre-election arrangements. In the evening, a special exhibition on voters awareness, hackathon and LED media awareness vehicles will be launched by the Chief Election Commissioner. The events are organized jointly by the State Chief Electoral Office and Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palike at Tata Hall in the Indian Institute of Science. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The budget session of Assam Legislative Assembly will begin at Dispur today. The session will continue till 5th of next month. Overall, there will be 14 sittings. More from our correspondent.
The budget session will begin with the address of newly appointed Governor Gulabsan Kataria. Finance Minister Ajanta Niyuk will present the budget on 16th of this month. A few bills and amendments are also expected to be tabled during this session. Ahead of the session, all parties held legislative party meeting to prepare their strategies. Opposition parties are likely to corner the government on eviction drive, action on child marriage issues, among others. Security has been beefed up in and around Dispur area for the budget session. Manas Pratim Sharma, AIR News, Guwahati.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will release 3 tigers in Madhav National Park, Shivpuri, as part of the efforts to rehabilitate them. Civil Aviation and Steel Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia and several ministers of the state government will be present on the occasion. Earlier, cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa were brought to Kuno National Park in Shivpur, the neighbouring district of Shivpuri. A report.
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also interact with the Tiger Mitras and Ladli Behna in this program. During the program, work worth about 270 crore rupees will be inaugurated and the foundation stone will be laid. Madhav National Park has ample possibilities to encourage tourism activities. The park has a rich history of natural tigers. Chief Minister said that due to the rehabilitation of tigers, employment and tourism opportunities will also be created in this area. With Ranjit Gupta from Shivpuri, Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar will attend the National Workshop on Bamboo Sector Development in New Delhi today. He will join the session on Vision for Bamboo in India. The workshop will have 5 technical sessions, including presentations from experts of the bamboo industry and interactive directions. The ministry said participants will be given the opportunity to network with other professionals in the field. They will also learn about the latest trends and technologies in bamboo cultivation, processing and utilization. A bamboo exhibition was also inaugurated yesterday. Various innovative, modern and traditional utilities of bamboo were displayed in the exhibition. Rajasthan government has denotified over 539 hectares of land for Kota Greenfield Airport in the buffer zone area of Ramgarh Vishdhari Tiger Reserve, Bundi. The decision was taken after the approval of the National Tiger Conservation Authority and the National Wildlife Board. The state government issued an order yesterday to completely exclude the land from the buffer zone. With this order, all the land required for the airport has now been completely cleared. Employees State Insurance Corporation ESIC has settled over 3,500 maternity benefit claims amounting to 9 crore 30 lakh rupees during week-long activities marking the International Women's Day. The ESIC recently introduced the facility of claiming maternity benefits online for insured women under ESI scheme. In tune with this year's theme for Women's Day, Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, a week-long series of activities were organized. They included seminar on gender sensitization, settlements of pending bills related to maternity benefit claims, and special health screening for women. In Ukraine, at least 9 people were killed in a new wave of Russian missile strikes across the country yesterday. Ukraine said Russia used powerful weapons, including rare Kinzhal hypersonic cruise missiles, in the strike. The Ukrainian military claimed it had successfully shot down 34 cruise missiles and 4 Iranian-made Shahed drones. In Indonesia, the death toll in the landslide has reached 32. The landslides hit a hilly village on remote Natuna Islands on Monday. Rescue workers have recovered more bodies buried under tons of mud. The landslide was triggered by torrential downpours, burying 30 houses in Genting village. Authorities have deployed nearly 700 rescuers, including police and military, with heavy equipment to search for 22 people still missing. National Disaster Management Agency of Indonesia said 8 people were pulled out alive with injuries. The search and rescue operation is hampered by heavy rains around the disaster site. In Germany, several people were killed and many injured after a shooting in the Hamburg city. The shooting took place at Jehovah's Witnesses Kingdom Hall in Großborstel district last night. Without confirming the exact number of victims, the police spokesperson said all the dead have gunshot wounds. Khelo India 10 Kadam tournament will start today. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will be present at the opening ceremony at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. To mark the International Women's Day 2023 celebrations, the Youth Affairs and Sports Ministry is organizing the Khelo India 10 Kadam tournament till 31st of this month. Nearly 15,000 women athletes will participate in 10 sports contests in more than 50 cities. The objective of this tournament is to provide a platform to the women athletes who were unable to participate in national or state level competitions. In Women's Premier League, Mumbai Indians beat Delhi Capitals by 8 wickets at Dr. D.Y. Patil Sports Academy, Navi, Mumbai yesterday. Batting first, after winning the toss, Delhi Capitals were all out for 105 in 18 overs. Captain Meg Lanning scored highest 43 runs. For Mumbai, Saika Ishak, Hayley Matthews and Issy Wong took 3 wickets each. In reply, Mumbai Indians overhauled the target in 15 overs, losing 2 wickets. And now for a look at today's newspapers. It's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Anuja. All the dailies carry the news of the Indian Prime Minister engaging in cricket diplomacy with his Australian counterpart in Gujarat. Quoting the Australian Prime Minister, the Indian Express writes, India, a top-tier security partner, open Indo-Pacific is our need. The dailies also talk about the arrest of former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister in the excise policy case. Body camera jackets must for customs officials clearing cargo at seaports, reports the Economic Times. Man of all seasons, Indian cinema loses its calendar, writes the Times of India about the sudden passing away of actor-director Satish Kaushik due to cardiac arrest. And finally, Hindustan Times carries a story with a photograph of Colonel Geeta Rana, the first woman ever to take over the command of an independent unit in the sensitive Ladakh sector. With that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese in New Delhi today. Prime Minister to address post-budget webinar on economic empowerment of women this morning. India-US Commercial Dialogue and CEO Forum to be held in New Delhi today. Election Commission of India reviews poll preparedness for assembly elections in Karnataka. Third session of National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction to begin in New Delhi this evening. Khelo India 10 Kadam tournament for women athletes to begin today. And in Women's Premier League, Mumbai Indians beat Delhi Capitals by 8 wickets at Navi, Mumbai. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.